Alright, what is happening? We got another video today. Another knife I picked up at the USN show. This is the Hogue Knives Deka. And pretty cool new model coming out. Not out yet. They did have a few of these at the show. And they will be coming out, I think, 3 to 6 months, they said. So what is it? What is the Deka? Well, it is a axis lock. This is the second, I believe, besides the Ritter MSK1. The Hogue is done with the axis lock. Oh, actually, there was the HK exemplar too that I had did a video on. So, anyway, this is when I saw the show. I was really excited. The size, the light, how light it was, the steel. It came in black G10, this G-Mascus in green, OD green, and then there was like a reddish G-Mascus, I want to say. I can't remember the other color. Also coming out in coated blades. So all 20 CV steel, all with very thin blade stock. 0.91 inches, so pretty thin. Though, weirdly enough, not very thin behind the edge. That's kind of the strangest thing ever. Has a super thin blade stock, right? And you're thinking, man, if they made this thin behind the edge, this thing would be a slicer. And it's not. It's like 20... Oh, that can't be right. 23 thousandths. Let's try that again. 22 thousandths behind the edge. So thicker than like a pair of 2, pair of 3. Kind of similar to a 940 as far as the thickness behind the edge is concerned. So kind of strange. You have this thin blade stock. Yeah, it's almost the same as the 940. Here's a size next to the 940 just so you can get a feel for it. You got this thin blade stock, and then you got this mini grip. So it's kind of in between the size. The knife it really compares to is the bug out, which is kind of what I bought this knife for. It was a direct comparison to the bug out. I thought, man, does Hogue have a bug out killer on their hands? Because it's lightweight, G10, better blade steel, thin blade stock like the bug out has. In fact, I think the bug out has thicker blade stock. But no, it's 0.88 on the bug out. They're about exactly the same, actually. It's about the same blade thickness in the stock, but you notice you have that taper on the Hogue. But where the bug out really shines is, well, first of all, it's lightweight, and this one has G10 scales, but it comes in exactly 2 ounces. It's like it's 0.2 ounces more than your standard bug out, but the G10 feels 100 times better. This has G10 scales as well, about the same length of blade. I mean, everything is pretty much similar on these guys. I think what did the Hogue weigh in at? The Hogue does weigh more, by a lot. .6. So this configuration of the bug out weighs 2 ounces. Well, that can't be right. It's actually giving it. I usually get 2, so it's weighing 1.9, but it's usually around 2. So 0.6 ounces heavier as well. Where the bug out shines is how thin behind the edge it is. It's a very good slicer. Last I checked, it was well under 20. 19 thousandths, 18 thousandths. I'm having a hard time with this measurement today. Calipers want to keep resetting too. I got 19 thousandths. It was thinner when I first got it, but I sharpened it, which happens to usually thicken a little bit. I think it was like 18 to 19 thousandths, so a little bit thinner behind the edge. Good slicer, lightweight. You know, everything had it going for it. So the Deka is a very, very similar knife in a lot of ways. It does come standard with G10 scales. Comes standard with M20 and 20 CV blade steel. So you already have 2 upgrades. The pocket clip is stainless steel. I know it looks titanium, it's not, but it has some good flex. It's a nice looking clip, not deep carry, but a nice looking clip nonetheless. And then you have 3 standoffs versus the 2 on the bug out, so you're going to get a little bit more rigidity out of the Hogue as well, with a little more strength. And honestly, you saw that smooth action, right? The Hogue does a better job with the axis lock. It's got smooth action. It's perfectly centered. We all know how Benchmates can be a pain sometimes to have good action and be centered. And if they have good action, they typically have blade play. There's no blade play at all. Solid lockup, centered, nice sweet action. So the action is better on the Hogue. You do get standard G10 grips. Price-wise, the Hogue is a little bit more. Well, what did they say they were going to be? 170-ish. So a little bit more money, but you are getting the upgraded blade steel and the upgraded G10 scales. So, but even though it has a thin blade with a thick fine edge, it's still a really good cutter. So I processed quite a bit of cardboard, which I'll roll in a little footage. I don't think I actually captured most of the footage, but I captured like the aftermath. But just to give you an idea, it's really a good cutter. I'm not putting much pressure through this, and it's going right through. And this has been used a lot since I got it. I have carried it quite a bit. Done a lot of cutting with it, and it really does a good job. So I really enjoy the knife. I just feel like they missed the mark a little bit. And hopefully the production models come a little thinner behind the edge, because you've got a thin blade stock, and if you had it thin behind the edge, you'd have this great blade shape. You'd have just such a great EDC knife. Now I think it'll be a good seller for Hogue. I think a lot of people will pick it over the like a Benchmade, maybe the Bug Out. You got better steel, but one of the attractions of the Bug Out again is it's under 2 ounces with its FRN scales, and it has a really thin and just a really good blade shape, really slicey. So I don't know. You guys, let me know what you guys think. Let's roll in that footage, and then we'll wrap it up. Hogue knife Deka, 20 CV. Just processed a shiz ton of cardboard. Cut all those pieces into 12-inch pieces for future cut tests, and that's a lot of the scraps. And this thing is still shaving sharp. I'd show you, but holding a phone in one hand and a knife in the other, that's kind of impossible. But still, well, maybe we can. Yep, shaving sharp still. Hogue did a good job on this heat treat for sure. All right, so doing all that cardboard cutting and many other types of media, I found this knife to be super comfortable in hand. Has fantastic ergonomics. You can really bear down on this hammer grip, and there's really no hot spots. You got good jimping up here, which is very functional. It does lock your thumb in. I do really like the thumb studs on the Hogues better than the Benchmades as well. They have that cool access lock look on the pivot access lock and the thumb studs. I like that. One thing that's kind of strange about this knife is the amount of screws it uses. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on each side, whereas a standard one is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the pockets clip screws. So I guess it's only one extra screw than a Benchmade typically has, but kind of weird. And then one thing that's weird too, you can see the screws protruding through the scales. They made the screws all a little bit long. Now they don't touch the blade, so you're not gonna have to worry about that. But it's kind of strange that they kind of poke through. Most Benchmade screws are pretty flush on these knives. You don't see them. Yeah, look through the Bug Out. You don't see any screws coming through, so all the screws are like the right size, like they put too long of screws in there. Kind of strange, but otherwise, fantastic little knife. I think it's going to be a huge seller. It's going to be, could be a Bug Out killer, not sure. A little bit heavier. If it was a little closer in weight, I would say yes. If you're planning on buying a Bug Out to put G10 scales or carbon fiber scales or titanium or something on it, you may just look right at this, because you can get it with G10 scales out of the box. These are really cool looking camo G-Mascus that they call it, but it will also come standard in black as well. I like the pocket clip. Like I said, not deep carry, but it does. It's a nice clip. It works really well, but you're definitely gonna have a lot more out of your pocket. So I would definitely give the advantage on the Bug Out to the pocket clip. So I didn't really mean to have this be a shootout or a versus video. I totally could do one, between these two, but I've kind of already talked about all these points in this video. But I definitely think, you know, a good alternative. I think Hogue does a better job on their QC than Benchmade does. I think, you know, the one thing to talk about though with the Benchmade is it's going to be a little bit better performer as far as cutting goes. Both are good though, and you do get better steel. So, you know, you decide. If you want to buy a bug out just because how lightweight it is, then I would, you know, you'll save money by buying the bug out and just keeping the Efron scales. But if you plan on changing scales out, definitely take a look at these when they come out. Thanks for watching my review on the Hogue Knives Deka. Any questions or comments, leave them down below, and we will see you on the next video.